Hello there guys and girls! Today I have a rather short tutorial for you, but what I'm going to show you today will help fix an annoying problem. From this day on, you can tell your in-game characters... Sorry, I had to get that out of my system. Normally when your character in GTA 5 is wearing any kind of hat or prop on the head, it will instantly disappear upon getting into most vehicles. And the reason for that is pretty simple. Rockstar Games doesn't want the bigger types of head decorations to clip through the roof of the car. They're not Bethesda, after all.
I used to be an adventurer like...
However, for cinematic videos that's a problem if you want to show someone getting into a vehicle. In the past I've been using workarounds for this problem, such as A. Trying to avoid characters wearing hats during that scene altogether. B. Getting into the car and once inside reapplying the hat, but this requires making a cut. C. Knocking the hat off of the character and attaching it to the head as an object in your Menyoo database, but that won't save when you reload the map. Or D. Playing an animation that displays entering the car. So neither of these situations is really satisfying because they are needlessly complicated and take way too much time. The trick that I will show you today is much better because you only have to do it once or twice to use it indefinitely afterwards. It's gonna be a bit of a goose chase though. I learned this technique a while ago from Max Luke, who is a subscriber and longtime fan of the channel. So as you can see once more, the machinima community sticks together and shares the knowledge. I'm loving it. So let's dive into it. Method explained. I think this trick is easier to understand with a little visualization. So please, look at this graph! Here's how you have to do it. First you decide on a car you want to use. Then you need to find that car in the game files with Open4. Next up you identify the type of layout the car is using. Then you change the properties for that layout for each car seat. This will also affect other vehicles that call this layout function in the code. So let's go through this step by step. Finding your car. The first step in this method is to find the car that you want to use for the scene. Let's say you have this one right here, the Blister. By opening the Menyoo spooner mode and right-clicking the vehicle, you can find out its name. Write that down if you can't remember it. I know I have to. Now that you know the name, you can close the game and start Open4. Use the search feature and type in the name of your car. Standard cars from the base game will most likely appear in one of these RPF archives here in the main folder, as opposed to newer cars being found in one of the DLC packs folders of the game. Then you can search for the file vehicles.meta. You have to pay attention here because there's a huge amount of these in the game. Many of the vehicles from the base game, like the Blister, will refer to the vehicles.meta in this folder, which is Grand Theft Auto 5/update/update RPF/common/data/levels/GTA 5. You can open this file within Open4 and search for the vehicle's name again. Down here you will find the layout of the car, which is layout_std_low roof in this case. Don't worry, you're not getting an STD. STD is for standard. There are many other types like layout low, layout truck, layout bus, layout coach, layout van, layout STD high window. I mean, you get the idea. Now you'll have to find the file where these layout functions are defined. That stuff happens in the file vehiclelayouts.meta. If you search for it, you will once again find tons of different versions of this. Like before, you'll have to find the right one. For the Blister example, it's Grand Theft Auto 5 /update /update RPF /common /data /AI. And now you can modify this file. Modding the files. Now that you've found this file, you need to do the following things. Drag and drop this to your desktop and add _backup to the file name. Then you copy the exact file path from Open4 and put that in a txt file. Learn from my mistakes, because when I tried this technique for the first time, I messed up and the game wouldn't boot anymore. And then I had a hard time finding which of these dozens of vehicle layouts I had modified. With this safety mechanism in place, drop another copy of this file to the desktop and activate edit mode in Open4. If you haven't already, copy the RPF file to your mods folder or switch over there with this button. From the desktop, you can open and edit the meta file with Notepad++ and the code will be neatly highlighted. Use the search feature to find the phrase for the layout that you have identified, which is layout_std_low roof in this example. There you will find the functions for each of those seats, front left and right as well as rear left and right. With vehicles that have more or less seats, it will be different, of course. Here's another breadcrumb on the goose chase. The function to define the seats of the vehicle. Copy seat_low roof_front_left. Move back to the top of the document and search for that phrase. Here you can see each of the 4 seats. Down there are the seat flags, so basically a definition of how this vehicle seat behaves. With a space in between, simply add the phrase "keep on head prop" here. You can copy paste that to the other seats as well. If you search for that seat flag, you'll notice that some of the vehicles already have this flag, like the SWAT van, because of course they need to keep their helmets on in there, and the vehicle has ample headroom for that as well. If you like, you can add the seat flag "keep on head prop" to some of the other types of vehicles as well while you're at it. Save your changes to the file and close Notepad++. Since the edit mode is still active, you can drag and drop the modded file back into Open4. You can check if it worked by searching for the low roof phrase again. Also notice how it loses the encrypted attribute. That's not an issue, but it is another way of knowing that your file has been replaced at some point. If you boot the game now and you did everything right, you can test the changes by equipping any hat and entering the desired vehicle. If it stays on, good for you. Since many other vehicles use the same function for the seats, this might work for a bunch of other cars in the base game. If it doesn't work, just repeat this whole process and find the right file this time. Modded and DLC vehicles. Of course you might be using modded vehicles. If you downloaded a replacement model of a car, then the vehicle layout will generally be exactly the same as the vanilla car. You don't have to change the method at all here, as I've already demonstrated with the modded Emperor in the beginning. For add-on vehicles, the used layout could be different, but finding the vehicle's meta file is much easier here because you already know where the car is. After installing the add-on mod, you can just navigate to the mods folder and find your DLC packs here. Opening the specific RPF file allows you to view the vehicles.meta file and check the layout of the car. Once you know which one it is, you can repeat the steps I've shown you earlier. Some of the DLC vehicles that Rockstar added later on have their own special settings for the seats, like the Torero from the gun running DLC. If you navigate to that vehicle layouts.meta file, you can find the seat_low_Torero seats and add the keep on head prop flag here. This is also the reason why I cannot offer you a one-size-fits-all download to just replace the files. It comes down to the specific vehicle you like. I couldn't find any mod that forces keeping the hat on for every single vehicle. Change hair size. Maybe you've also noticed how the size of the hair changes sometimes when you get in a car. The problem is the same, it looks bad in a machinima. This behavior is defined with a similar value called hair scale. With the SWAT van, for example, that is set to 0. With the standard seats, however, it is at minus 0.275. That means to avoid the big hairdos clipping through the roof of the car, Rockstar Games added this value. If you don't like that, you can just set this to 0 as well on the other cars. Now the hair should stay as is when entering a vehicle. But of course that means you'll have to pick a hairstyle and a car that won't clip into each other. Outro. Okay, I know this was a bit nerdy and it seems like a lot of work just to be able to... Sorry, I just had to. Once you know how this works, it will be much quicker than the other workarounds that I've explained earlier. And maybe you're wondering why I'm still doing tutorials for GTA 5 at this point in time. Well, that's kind of what I do, and personally I think we will be stuck with this game for a while longer until 6 is out and gets a PC version, and then all the necessary mods need to be created as well. I wouldn't count on being able to make the same type of movies with GTA 6 until 2028. You are free to support my work by subscribing, leaving a super thanks, or becoming a Patreon supporter for a ton of cool benefits like Discord access, exclusive streams, and behind the scenes features. That's about it for this tutorial. If you have any questions, let me know in the comments below. Whanowa over!